People often ask me, why do you need confidence to be a good leader? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you today. One of the biggest problems that I see when people take the mask off and they get real is they lack confidence in themselves. Maybe their self-esteem has taken a hit. Confidence is absolutely important. How do you learn to have your own back? And I'm going to teach you a 4-step process that can help you develop even more confidence so you can have your own back and you can withstand the trials and the challenges that come our way as leaders. I was coming home from a speech. This was a while back, and I was in South Carolina. And apparently a father and a son had arranged with the shuttle driver to stop off at the university and drop the son off. And so I love to watch people. Are you a people watcher? I love it's free entertainment, right? And so we're driving along in this shuttle and then we come to the university and it stops and the doors open and the son grabs his luggage and he starts to walk away. And then the door shut and we start to pull away. And then all of a sudden the dad goes, "Stop, stop." Clearly they had a New York accent. And the bus driver stops really quick. He said, "Open the doors." And he opens the doors and he goes, "Son, what are you doing? Get back here. Son, come back here and give me a kiss. What are you thinking? I know why you need to go to the university. You need to use the God-given brain you've got. Now come back here, give me a kiss." Son turns around and we're all watching this unfold. Son turns around, walks back, right? Gives dad a hug and a kiss. And then another interesting part took place and the dad says, "Now son, look at me. Son, look at me. Now you hear me? No grief, son, no grief. Now come give me a kiss. Now get out of here. I love you, son. I love you. Now go on. No grief. You hear me? Look, no grief, son. Get out of here." Doors shut. We pulled off. And I sat there thinking of the day when I send one of my kids to college and it probably didn't look anything like what I just saw. So I couldn't help myself. I said to the man, "Wow, I bet you've been waiting a long time to send your son off to college." And then he said, "Oh, you have no idea. It has been a lifelong dream of mine." I'm going, "Yeah, and then it shows." And then he said, "But honestly," and he got serious. He said, "Honestly, this day almost didn't happen." What do you mean? He said, "Well, you know the story, 9/11. I'm going, "Yeah." He said, "I work for Morgan Stanley." And he said, "You know the story, at 8:46, Tower 1 is hit. Port Authority told Tower 2, you're fine. You don't need to evacuate. But one man, he said, his name was Rick Rescrola, Senior Vice President of Security. One man said, 'I don't care what the Port Authority has told us. Every Morgan Stanley, nearly 3,000 of them, are ordered to evacuate right now.'" It was at like 9:01, Tower 2 was struck. And he said, Rick, that Senior Vice President, made a decision to evacuate all of the employees. And as they were evacuating, now the news, things are beginning to unfold on TV. He said, "But this Rick Rescrola is an amazing man. That decision that he made saved my life." And as all the employees of Morgan Stanley were exiting, now that the tower is turning into an inferno, he calls his wife on the way in. His wife is now watching what's taking place on TV. His wife knows the nature of Rick Rescrola. No man left behind and or woman. And he calls his wife and she's crying hysterically, watching what's happening, not knowing that he's alive. And he said, "Honey, everything is okay. I'm fine. But I've got some people who are missing. There are 2 people. Him and 4 other security guards were now running into this inferno while everyone else was running out." And he said, "Honey, please don't cry. But if something should happen to me, I want you to know that you have made my life. And I love you, dear." And then he said, "I love you." And then he hung up and then he continued back into the inferno. Those were the last words that his wife ever heard from him. Because as you know, my friend on the bus was telling me, the tower then collapsed. And the man then said, "Yeah, so it has been a dream come true for me to be here to tell my son, not to cause me any grief, that had Rick not made that decision and went against other people who said you're overreacting, but it was his place of confidence, his place of having his own back and believing in himself in those moments when what appears outside of you appears to be more true than what's inside of you." There comes a time in a leader's life where you believe what's inside of you, like a Rick Rescrola. The outside evidence, the Port Authority said, "You're fine." Rick Rescrola said, "No, you're not. Everyone evacuate." There would have been another 3,000 deaths had Rick not made that decision. Confidence as a leader to be able to have your own back, where you truly start to trust inside at the right times what is truth for you, even though the external environment says it's not true. That's power. And so I then pulled up to my gate on the shuttle. I grabbed my bags, the door's open, I go to leave, and he then didn't miss a beat. And he says, now go on, get out of here. Look at me, don't cause me any grief. And then I turned around to him and I said, can I have a kiss? Get out of here. And the bus pulled away and I never saw him again. But I'll tell you this, it pinged something inside of me. And I have then put a little tool together that can help you to be able to trust inside those moments. Not always, you need data from other people and not just unilaterally making decisions, but a process where you can trust yourself more. There will come a time in your leadership, today, in a week, where you need to trust yourself in making these decisions. So important. Hey, I just want to say, if you're liking the content of these videos, please subscribe because there's a whole lot more where this comes from. So this tool is called C-Web, C-W-E-B. And it's a simple tool that will help you develop more confidence in yourself. It's like a muscle that you continue to build and it gets stronger and stronger as you make a decision to apply C-Web. So the C simply stands for core. It stands for your core. Why are you a leader? Because if you don't know why you're a leader and you don't know what you're wanting to accomplish from that core, it's easy to get thrown off course. Why are you a leader? Rick Rescorla made it very clear why he was a leader. He was there to protect people at all costs, even at the peril of his own life. That's what he wanted to do. My core is I love to help people get unstuck so they can create clarity and become what is possible for them in their life as a leader and in their personal life. That's something I stand on, something that is in my core that I believe wholeheartedly. So C, I want you to identify what is your core. Why are you a leader? Because I punch a clock, because I get paid. I hope you go deeper than that. That won't sustain you to have confidence that you need today as a leader. So C, the W then stands for what is it that you want as a leader today, this week, this month? Want. What do you want? I've got a core that I build everything upon. What I want comes right from that core. What do you want? Warren Buffett and Bill Gates were at a dinner party and the host asked them a question. She said, if you were to define success in one word, what is that one word? And they both replied with the same response. Focus, clarity. What is it that you want as a leader? Do you have goals? Do you have clarity? Does your team know your goals and the clarity? Are they involved in the decision-making process, problem solving? Get clear, write it out. What is it that you want today or this week or this month? So C, core, W, what do you want? And then E. This is an important question. It's a little different. You've got to identify what emotion will drive you to accomplish, to take action for what you want. So for me, it really is, I want to feel happiness and fulfillment in helping others reach their full potential. What is it for you? What emotion do you want to feel working towards what it is you want as a leader? If you can identify this emotion and then you start to practice to feel that today, amazing things will happen. Practice feeling the emotion you want because then the beliefs will fall right in line. That's the B. What belief do I need to have in order to create that emotion so that I can take action on what I want based on my core? When you get your beliefs in alignment and you practice believing this, it will then naturally create this emotion that then naturally leads to you accomplishing your goal. It's a very powerful process, and I'd give you an invitation to write out your C-Web. Get a piece of paper after this video's over. What is your core? What's that core for you as a leader? What is it you stand for? Like a Rick Rescorla. What do you want? What emotion will drive what you want? It builds right on that. And what belief will fuel that emotion that leads you to what you want, acting from your core? My friends, if you get it on paper, something magical will happen. And you'll notice that in times when the storms come, and they will come every day, we get an onslaught of storms where our confidence can take a hit. Come back to the core. Come back to what you're fighting for, what you want. Identify clearly what it is. Feel that emotion, breathe it in, practice it, and then practice that belief that creates that emotion. And watch what happens. You'll enjoy your job as a leader again. I promise you that it will happen, and you'll have confidence in those times that can be lonely. And you can go back in and have your own back, just like a Rick Rescorla did. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. In the comment box, what is your C-Web? Just begin to work with it, because when you get clarity about that, it changes everything. You can sense the power when you're with a leader who knows where they're going, who is C-Webbing, and you can sense the people who don't. The leaders who have that, they inspire others. Others want to follow them. If you have a C-Web, I believe that's what happens. If you don't, kind of a lackluster leader. We just go through the motions. I hope you see what. Love to hear your comments. Also, if you want more information, don't hesitate to go to my website at dougspeaks.com. All kinds of fun stuff there. Thanks so much.